Hello, everyone. Hello. I am coming with a commentary on two videos that I saw on YouTube. Now, this first one, I saw this one yesterday. Uh, the name of it is Terry Anderson warned Congress in 1990 that FBAs were being ethically cleansed out of LA. I don't know. What is FBAs? I don't know. What could that be? Let me see. This FBAs. I'm gonna play a little bit of it, then I'm gonna talk about it.
Brother by the name of Terry Anderson that went before Congress. And this brother was warning about the conditions in South Central Los Angeles when it came to black people. And I want you to hear what our brother had to say back in 1990. And you fast forward to 2025, and you see what ended up happening. Let's go ahead and check out this clip.
Elected officials refused to address the problem. The black elected officials refused to address the problem. My own congressman refuses to address the problem. And I think the problem is black folks see all minorities as allies. And this is not the case. These people are not here for our common good. They're here for their own good. Where I don't have any ill will towards anybody, I also want to look out for my race. I'm a black American. I never used a hyphen. But I will refuse to turn my back on my race and see what's going on in South Central to my people and let these people come in here and just take over. I'm not going to sit back and watch it. And I think it's a terrible thing, a horrendous thing for anybody to see this going on and say, well, he's a minority like me, so I won't speak up. I don't care where he comes from. The key to this whole thing is stop the denial, stop the alliances of, in other words, he's a minority of me, so I can't speak up against him. If this was white folks committing these lynchings to us in South Central, what's going on, there would be an outrage in this country. We have had firebombs thrown through windows. We have had people's cars burned in the driveway because they happened to move into the wrong communities. We had a lady who moved to East LA, came to the state from the South, not knowing what East LA was. It was an all-Hispanic community. She wasn't there one day. We had another man who was burned out of his house in Torrance last year. We had 5 murders in Hawaiian Gardens just because the people were black. This would not be tolerated if this was white on black crime. But the fact that these people come here, and it's the numbers, sir. It's the numbers. They come here in the numbers. They build up the Hispanic community, and they get this sense of power against us. And there are race riots in the schools every day in Los Angeles. It never makes the media.
Okay. Okay. Now. Wow. Now, you know, anything that pertains to helping us and informing us, it rarely gets news coverage. Now, this was back in 1990. We're still going through it. You know why? Because we're still weak. We still don't have no news station, a black news station. We don't have a black newspaper that is, it don't matter if it's statewide or nationwide. We don't have that. Now, for these Hispanics to come in your neighborhood and take it over. Now, he's trying to say that this happened in 2025. We're still weak. That just shows you we are still weak, that anybody can come in our neighborhood and take it over. And he's going to say that it's the numbers. They came in the numbers and they build it up. You know why they built it up? Because we have been conditioned to stay in the same place, the same spot. And I'm going to tell you how weak we are. I went out today in my scooter to go to the store, and I went past these apartment buildings. And what I see, black man sitting on the stoop, smoking, talking mess. I'm like, come on. That is so old school. But I know just because I don't do it no more, it's old school. But really, we ain't moved an inch. I thought, and they about as old as me. So I know black men, stand out. Our kids need us. Why you not out living your best life? We should be out there adventuring, traveling, out there trying to help build up the community. And but that's what I'm saying. That's what they do. And I remember this was the end of the 80s where our neighborhood started being taken over by the Arabs, the Indians, the Chinese. When I was growing up, we never had a Chinese restaurant. You never know what Chinese food was. Except for that chow mein stuff that you could buy at the store. And I mean, I'm not getting down on nobody, because if you could do it, do it. Because we had a lot of black businesses, but overnight they disappeared. We had all the corner stores disappear, and now, I'm not mad at none of them. You wouldn't hear me on TV talking about, oh, they took it over, oh, they this and that. They wouldn't have been able to do that if we wasn't weak. Why is they able to survive so long than we did? Our black stores. We had one black-owned grocery store. You know who got it now? I went in not too long ago. I don't know what it is now, but I went in there. This may be about 5-6 years ago, but it's called Roush's. I went in there. It wasn't black no more. There's Arabs, I think they like to be called Arabs. I don't know. Yeah. Just like in my town, they was building we get ready to have a black grocery store. It was black, but they weren't black workers. And it only lasted less than a year. Because you know why? Because we get it. Because we get these stores and we run over. They go in there and steal, hang out outside. But those other ones, they can keep a business. But you know, they still taking chances. They not too long ago, one of them got shot and killed, which is a pitiful ass shame. Pitiful. Just like I went in a CVS, no cart. Now, how am I going to walk around with my cane with no cart? I had to leave and go to another one. Why are you still in the carts? Weak ass people have no morals, no principles, and no future. At least they don't plan to have a future. Now,
the black kids are being run out of the schools.
Okay, listen to this. Listen.
It never makes the media. We are having people who are being discriminated against on every avenue of society. Economic, schools, even in our prisons now. They have drawn lines, and our prisoners in California are being beat and harassed and raped by Hispanic gang members who recently arrived here because of the numbers. My answer to you, sir, would be we don't need any new laws. Enforce the ones we got.
Now that's brother Terry Anderson back in 1990, and you fast forward to 2025. Unfortunately, our brother's words fell on deaf ears, even in Congress. And they continue to have open border policies for the Democrat Party.
See, they're going to blame the Democrats.
They kept flooding the zone.
Flooding the zone.
1.8 million now in Los Angeles. And with black people, it's only 329,000 black people now in Los Angeles.
Weak ass people.
And what I've learned about other groups, like the folks for sure, and even some of them as well, is when the numbers get really high, that's when the racism. Some people, they money keep them away from certain things in LA. Just to keep it real, you got a certain amount of money. If you're in LA, you can avoid a whole lot of stuff with money. But if you're just a working class person, you will be dealing with a whole lot of things. You're trying to get a job, you can't because you speak foreign language.
All right. See,
And
now we went to the money, of course. Money rules.
The Democrats not going to look at their hiring practices. The Democrats don't care.
The Democrats don't care. The Democrats don't care. But the Republicans do? Is that what you're saying? Is that what you really saying? Whose fault really is it? We have to take responsibility. We're going to have to. We are grown-ass people. We love to blame other people. That's what some of us do. I don't blame nobody but my damn self. That's why I ain't got, they love to say, that's why I ain't got nothing. That's why I'm living like I'm living. No, of course, everybody, we cannot live in this world without affecting or infecting other people because of our actions. Take the COVID, for instance. A lot of people got infected because they didn't want to wear a mask, because they didn't want to get the shot, or because the stupid government we had didn't tell people in time that there was a pandemic going on. So, but you can't blame one people. A lot of people didn't want to stay at home until they get the pandemic up under control. They having a baby because they couldn't go out. Because they didn't care about their own lives. They didn't care about nobody else's life. Oh, see, we don't realize we are stationed in life. You got some black people that want to be so, they want to be accepted by the majority. So bad. Now, if you look at life in a realistic way, as long as the Europeans are running stuff, that's not going to happen. You're not going to be equal. So you might as well stay separated as much as possible and build yourself up. That's one thing that I read that we missed out on, is building a nation. We really are not. We was forced here. Our forefathers was forced here. 98% of us was forced to be over here, to live in a land of rice. and forced to assimilate, forced to be separate but equal, and then forced through Jim Crow, and then forced through all that, and had to fight and die and kill just to be able to have certain rights. So we don't have to act like we are really like them. That's why our children are so confused and so hurt and so weak and attacking one another, because all their life they've been shown nothing but weakness. And you're from slavery. Your forefathers were slaves. You was in chains. You had to go through Jim Crow. You were put in zoos. I mean, this is stuff that they have to hear. And then we exaggerated by the police will stop you just because you're black. The police hate you. The police going to kill you. And this goes in our little boy's head from 5 and up. That's one of the reasons why when they get pulled over, they run. Or they start shooting at the police, because it's in their brain that this officer is going to kill me. And they can't really understand that it's a coalition. It's stop committing crimes, stop driving dirty. If you do get pulled over, just accept it and cooperate. Fight it in court. So it's a lot of stuff that we're not teaching our kids. We're not coming right out and telling them. We're telling them that the police hate you. They're going to pull you over because you're black. Instead of telling them, don't commit crimes. Keep your license. And when they do pull you over, because we have to accept that these people, you don't know which one you're going to run into. You might run into one that is a hater. And you might run into one that is, takes his job serious. Our main goal should be to leave home and return home. For instance, we need to learn from other people's mistakes, just like, bless her heart, Sarah Bland. That might not be Sarah. Sharon Bland got pulled over just because she didn't have her turn signal on. I make sure I turn my signal on every time I pull over, every time I change lanes. And she's in Texas, where it's racist. And then if she had to just put her cigarette out when the police officer told her. We cannot forget that these people will kill you, because that's what they do. And I'd rather fight you in court and maybe win a little money than get shot dead because I'm trying to prove a point. I don't have to put my cigarette out. I don't have to turn my music down. I don't want to go to jail. If you don't want to go to jail, don't do the crime. We don't tell our kids that enough. If you don't want to do the time, don't do the crime. If you get caught selling drugs, you're going to jail. Ain't no jobs out here. Okay, ain't no jobs in prison either. You know what's in prison? Hard work. Stop raising our kids to be weak. And this other one that I listened to the other day, it's I really don't even it's the name of it is I'm gonna let you see it. It's really, it says sterilize all blacks. The blacks are genetically dysfunctional. And this is by a black man. Why are we still talking about this? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Ideas together with what we know about genetics, what we know about the condition of skin whiteness itself. The condition of skin whiteness is the genetic inability to produce skin pigment called melanin. This is a genetic recessive trait. It is a genetic deficiency state.
Okay, I wanted you to hear what he was saying.
Or the suppression of any gains that black people would make in mass. Of course, we know the few pests will eat through the system, but for the most part, the majority of black people, we are seen as something that could be a blockade to white supremacy really flourishing the way it's supposed to in their eyes. So they want to make sure that they suppress us. And now remember, in the early days of America, America was black and white. Yeah, Native Americans, which numbers greatly dwindled. You had a few Asians, numbers were not vast, right? So America was mostly black and white. And we were the thorn in the side or the nemesis to the white population. Of course, things have changed now, but we are still a nemesis or in competition to all other groups. But before all of these things happen.
Okay. Why? You see the headline. Sterilize all blacks. Why are we talking about that? Why? He got over 71 299 a month. The blacks are genetically dysfunctional. And then they're going to put up Dr. Francis Cress Wilson debates Dr. William Shockley. Okay. Why are we listening to that? And that's something that's been debunked. It was a lie when it first said it, and it was a lie then. It's a lie now. Why do we need to hear that? I know you could see she was a very good lady. She was very, very smart, and she told the truth. She had backup what she was saying. But once again, putting it on display, how weak we are. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Most black people is stupid as hell. I'm one of them. I wasn't as stupid as I was. I guess maybe I got older. You should get a little smarter when you get older. But the stupid stuff that we do. I was raised by stupid parents. I love them to death. They didn't know. They only had a 5th education, but they worked hard. They was able to get jobs. My father had a good job at Chrysler. We lived good, but we did not get educated. We did not learn about our history, our family history. We did not get that black nationalism in us. We didn't know who the enemy was. We didn't have any black people on our walls. It was just, and it was a very dysfunctional family. I just put it like that. We had no self-respect, no respect for one another. It was bad, and mostly everybody I knew didn't either. And you see the way they're killing each other, the way we killing each other. You know, when that movie Planet of the Apes came out years and years ago, I didn't realize that should have been us. We should have been telling each other, you blacks don't kill blacks. But see, what happened was we was taught by the enemy, and we was taught that other blacks was the enemy. Every day you hearing about us black people killing other black people. And then you have the Europeans killing us too. Every which way but loose. Through their medicine, through giving us the guns. And this is something else too that we so weak. We steady eating their bad food, their fast food, their junk. We steady smoking their cigarettes, drinking their liquor. How many people are dead now or in jail now because of liquor? Don't bring up the crack days, crack era. Oh my goodness. Oh, and we still living in that nightmare because we're dealing with crack babies. How are we going to get away from this is stop being weak. Well, how do you not be weak? Well, you're going to have to go to the strong. We're going to have to change our ways. We're going to have to be sober, clean, and healthy. And stop looking at the propaganda. But I'm like, I woke up and I seen this on my YouTube channel. And I'm like, sterilize all the blacks. And then find out it's a black man that put that as their headline. And then gonna write the blacks. It should have a disclaimer on there. Blacks were the first ones created. Everything comes from black people, okay? We created civilization, medicine, astronomy. Come on. Instead of telling our kids that, instead of like black kids having pictures of Superman and Batman and superheroes and all that stuff, why they don't have pictures of Mandela or Torre and Obama and Obama? Because if you try to live in their mystical world, you're going to get a mystical out. Because see, us black people, we stand so tall that if we don't keep that lifted up, and if we don't get back the black power that created all this, the whole world's going to suffer in a very, very, very bad way. And it's already happening now. And we're going to have to get back like we did back in the 60s, the 50s and 60s, where our black people got out there and did stuff that they know that would get them killed. And most of the time it did. We done got so comfortable and we have all this stuff and all these positions that we willing to bend over backwards to keep it. And we got this mistaken that you want to live as long as you can. You don't want to die. Not knowing, like I used to say back then, it don't matter if you've been over backwards, suck their butts or anything. They still gonna kill you. So we're going to have to start thinking revolution. We're going to have to start thinking black nationalism. And we're going to have to start realizing that some heads going to roll. Because it's getting ready to get so bad around here that you better be ready. Look at what this American administration is doing. Come on. Come on, you better get real. I'm telling you. They really making people so oppressed and so depressed that they're drinking more, committing more crimes because they just feel so useless. But it is something that we could do. And sometimes we might have to lose our life. What I realize, a lot of things I knew you might die. Because it's just a matter of time before you get constructed. I mean, have to be confronted by a MAGA or just anybody that don't have good sense. What you gonna do? Did I tell everybody? If you could avoid it, avoid it. There's no sense of you going to jail or going to your grave because somebody called you a nigger. That ain't number words. I grew up in the era, stick and stones may break my bones, but words have never hurt me. Words don't hurt. You know what hurts? You going to jail or you dead and your family is back suffering. You call me a nigga, I'm saying, well, you know what, hunky? I don't care about what your words say. You're going to be a hunky till you die, and I'm going to be a nigga till I die. Get the fuck out of my face. Bye. Why are we so upset over a word that we call each other all the time? But, like I said, you never know what you might do in a certain situation. But our main goal should be to come home. And think about what you're going to do in every scenario. Because there's plenty of Karens out there, and there's plenty of Jacks out there. Remember that saying, I don't know Jack? Well, there's plenty of them out here. Well, like I said, we're going to have to stop being weak. We're going to have to start raising our kids to be strong women and men. And they're going to have to learn how to respect everybody and love everybody. Because every time I hear a black man out there talking about the LBGTQ, we have to treat people like people. Humans are humans. It don't matter who they are, where they go, where they come from, how language they speak, or who they love, or whatever. As long as they are acting like humans, we should treat them like humans. And know who the enemy is. The enemy is the one that's trying to take away your health care, trying to dysfunction your kids, and trying to take away your ability to have clean water and clean air. They want to take away your health care and take away the ability to have clean air and clean water. Okay, thank you all for listening. I'm gonna go, but I just had to make this video. Remember, it is something that we could do about it. And drinking and getting high and out there committing crimes is not it. Thank you.